Hello, I am Rebecca Gray from Richard Gray Creations, and today I'm here to go through the winners of this year's BONEZONE competition. This is where we take a really good look at the winners showcase, all our entries, and talk about what made them stand out. Just a celebration of all the amazing work put in by the painters in our community. If you're new here, hello. BONEZONE is our annual community painting competition. It's a friendly, open to all skill levels and designed to help you push your painting skills and just have fun along the way. We run it with an open style format, so we don't do first, second or third. We award bronze, silver and gold based entirely on merit. So if your piece hits a gold standard, then you will get a gold. Simple as that. You're not competing with anyone else who's entered. It's based entirely on merit. We split the competition into two categories. So we have the standard category, and standard is pretty much newer painters, improving painters, just your average Joe really getting along doing their painting, and they're just building their skills. And then we have masters, and masters is for the elite in our group, because we're very lucky in our community. We have some incredible painters. We have some gold demon winners in our midst, and they are in the masters group. So anyone who is a competition regular or competition painter hits masters. Now this year, quite a few of our standard entries were actually bumped up into the Masters category. Richard took a look at them and thought, no, these guys are competing at Masters level, and I can't wait to show you those. So our official subjects this year were the Soulblight Gravelords, the Grave Guards, and the Wight King on his Skeletal Steed. Now, you could submit one of these models or a little scene. It really is up to you. So you've got the choice of the big model or your little skeleton fellas. Judging was done by Richard Gray and our guest judge, and as always, the brief was simple. Celebrate creativity, reward skill, and just recognise the people that really push themselves. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all the winning entries, category by category, and talk a little bit about why these pieces stood out to us and why I like them. And check the links for description of them. Check out our website. Make sure you follow these people. I've put their Instagram handles on the images as well, so if you see something you like, go check them out, give them a comment, tell them how great they are. Community support is what really makes this competition special and what we do so fun, so that would be great if you could do that. Right, let's open the crypt and get into the winners. I've rambled enough. First up, we have Standard Bronze. Not everyone who enters BONEZONE or any of our competitions will place and get a trophy, so a Standard Bronze is a huge achievement. Standard winners are those who have entered in the standard category, so they are not professional competition painters, they are just regular painters like you and me. Figured as much is our first one. This is Anita's. This one shows a really great use of the freehand on the banner with the grey and the sort of the white. The gold on the model itself is really, really lovely. The use of the base is fantastic, and the texture on the stone really works well. Then we've got this one by Gary, and it's like a real, looking at the models this way, it shows a real contrast between what people do. This one is lots more grungy, it's darker. You've got that more muted non-metallic metal that still really reads as non-metallic, and it works so well. The lighting on this one is really nice. It gives a really good sense of atmosphere. Next up we have this one by James. This one I really caught my eye because of the use of the limited colour palette, which works so well. You've got this wonderful purple colour on the cloth, you've got the sort of the red and the purple on the base, and also you've got that sort of the golden secondary lighting, the sort of that orangey colour at the very top there, which also picks out the rust on the weathered armour. The weathered armour looks really fantastic. I also really like the use of the snow on the base, and the fact that he's used the snow base and he's really made it cohesive with the model. A lot of the time people will put like snow on a base or mud on a base or water on a base, and it just won't reflect well on the model itself. It doesn't actually it's not cohesive. Here you can see the snow comes up the legs of the horse, it's on the cloth, it's on the bottom of his shield, and it really makes for a really, really good storytelling on the piece and the connection between the piece and the base. Now we have this one by Jeff. This one has a wonderfully warm atmosphere, and the use of this one, what I want to really talk about on this one is the use of rust. And I love a bit of rust on a model, but I also love how it's contrasted on this one. So you've got the feather on the base who hasn't risen. On his weapon, on his sort of helmet, you've got that really heavy rust effect, but on the model itself, the main model, you've got that looser rust, much less, but you'll still see it really effectively used on the non-metallic metal of his weapon, with that sinister edge. I just love the gold and the warmth of this piece, and it just looks really nice. Next up is Justin. This one is a really muted one, but really effective. It's got that lovely dark atmosphere, but the gold itself is picked out really nicely. This one isn't showy, and I like that. The non-metallic metal isn't overly vibrant. It's not overly done. It's not like, look at me, I'm a bright, shiny little fella. He is rough, he is muted, he is weathered, he is a little bit grimy. You can see the grimy on his boots from the base, and it works so well. Next up is this one by Matt, which is Matt with the ironic Instagram handle. Matt, you are not talentless, you are fantastic. I really love this one. I love the weathering on the armour, the way he's picked out the scratches on the hip plate, and you can see it's rubbed off the patina of the metal really, really well. I love the wood on the mace. I love the base. I think it just works so nicely. There's really, really good storytelling. He's really thought about the rocks on the base being different from the tombstone rocks, which is something that catches people out sometimes. The blue of the cloth works really right nicely too. This one is a wonderfully showy boy by McMaster, and I just love the non-metallic metal gold on this one. He's wonderfully shiny, but he's also got that weathering too. You can see in the pits of his armour on the front there, that dark weathering. So he's clearly been shining up his rusty, dirty armour ready for a fight. I like the different use of texture on the mace and the blue of it as well. It just looks really different against the gold, and it just works really, really well. From a skeleton that has buffed up his armour before coming out to fight today, you've got this one, Stefan. Now, Stefan is on this wonderfully grungy, dirty one. What I like about this one is that you've got lots of different types of weathering and dirt and grime on it. And it just works so nicely. You've got that rust on him, but you've also got sort of a muddy effect. It's really cohesive. It works well across the whole model, like on the cloth itself. He's remembered to do the weathering on the bottom there with the mud. It's just such a nice piece, and it's just so grimy and good. Next up in the standard category, we've got the silver winners. Callum's is first, and I really like his use of the enamelled red armour. I think that works so well, and you can see where it's sort of come off in places on him, and you can see the grimy weathering as well on it. I think that's so nice, especially on the feet where you can see where it's sort of peeled off the enamelling, peeled off the paint. The way he's weathered the cloth is really nice too, where it's gone lighter at the bottom. That's so nice to look at, and I really like the way he's done the blade too. It's got that lovely, lovely non-metallic metal, but it's also got that really, really nice sheen, like a really sort of sinister edge to it. It looks really lovely and sharp. Next up, we have this one by Cody. This one is really fun, and I just love the use of dynamic lighting on this one. You'll notice in this video that I am an absolute sucker for dynamic lighting, and this one is just a really good example of that. You've got the lighting from the top, you've got that sort of bluey shine off the non-metallic metal that's obviously the secondary lighting from maybe the moon or whatever, but then you've got this wonderful sort of orangey glow that's just across the piece, across the base, in really good key points, and then bouncing off the piece, the model himself, in all the places you'd expect, higher at the bottom, but also bouncing off the key areas. You've also got his back a little bit in shadow, which really makes those glyphs on the shield pop. Now you've got this one by Dimitar. Now this one is a really wonderful example of storytelling, and I just really love the contrast on this one. So you've got this really grimy, really grungy, really well weathered, really sort of sinister background, especially with the banner in the back with that sort of corpse hanging off it. But your eye is drawn to the focal point, which is the model himself. He's resplendent in gold. He's gorgeous with his lovely golden armour. He obviously takes good care of it. The purple of the cloth, really nice, the way it's picked out and the way that he's done the shading on that, but the edging as well, really well highlighted. I love the way he's done the mace with the weathering on that too. It's just a really nice place with lots of storytelling. Next up is this one by Farners, Nuns with Guns. I love your name. This one is really nice in terms of the different styles of metals on this one. The gold and the sort of the iron work so nicely. You've got that wonderful scratches and weathering on it. You've got the rust. I love the use of the red. The red cloth is so nice too, and that cheeky sort of hand coming out at the bottom there made me smile. The wood, as you can see with that one, is really nice too on the mace. And of course, he's really thought about all the different metals on the piece. You've got all that sort of, you've got the different types of weathering, different types of verdigris, different types of rust. The textures on this little fella is great. Different armour again, different sort of metal with that sort of bluey verdigris that's so nice, but also it's got that really nice sort of rough sort of patina sort of weathering on it that sort of picked out in all the right places. I really like the way he's done the leather on the drum and the skin of the drum and on the strap holding the drum. The knocks in the leather, the way sort of it's all picked out is so nice and so well done. One by Jonathan, I Need a Warhammer. I need to pick his brains on how he did the snow on this one because it looks so good, and we need some tips for Squigmas, which is our next competition. But going back from that to his model now, I love the blue on this one and the use of the limited colour palette. The blue of the cloth contrasting with his glowing blue eyes, the blue of the verdigris on the armour. It just works so well. And the rust that he's added is really nice too on the different types of metals, like on the edge of the shield there with that really excellent weathering. And I love the way he's done the wood with that sort of mossy sort of effect, the sort of rotting wood effect too. It's just a really great piece. Next up is Keris. Keris has got this wonderful one that's on the top. I think he's on the top of a tower, I think. I really think he's just a really fun one in terms of how he's picked out different colours, how he's picked out the rust as well on the hammer. It looks really nice, well done how he's done the sort of the edging on the weapon of him. The different metals work so well, the rust works so well, and he's also done some excellent weathering on the cloth there as well, which sort of brings it together with the base. You can see there, you can see the sort of the micro textures on the cloth, and then how it dissolves into like it's all worn and sort of a bit sort of grubby there at the bottom. Such a nice piece. This one by Radiation Cow really caught my eye in terms of how she's approached the gold armour differently. A lot of the gold armours that we've seen are this bright gold or a gold that looks worn or muted over time. This gold has like a sickly feel, like a slightly greenish tint to it that works so well with this model. And it just really looks so nice, and it's so well done too. I really like the fella coming out the ground being commanded by him. I really like the use of the rust on the sword too, and the base with that tree in the background. It's got some great contrasts on it. Mango Paints one is great in terms of a really good contrast of textures again. But what I want to talk about this one is the enamelling on the armour of them. So you've got this sort of wonderful sort of teal coloured enamelled armour, but you can see it's so well chipped and weathered and worn. The feeling of it is just really great. It's just so well done. You got that lovely sort of pitted, rough, rusty coming through, and it gives you that feeling that once this guy was really resplendent, really awesome, really sort of a real big deal, especially when you see it with the gold as well. He just the storytelling and the feeling of this one is great, and the contrast with the cloth, that bright purple works so well. Next, this one by Simon KS. This one has got some really wonderful bright colours in it, and it's such a really clean, really interesting style. I really like how he's painted the bone of the horse head, and I really like how he's approached the cloth and how it's got that sort of worn, the micro textures and sort of the brush marks on that looks so nice. He's a fun little fella, and I think he's great. This one by Skink Dread is a really good atmospheric storytelling one, and I really like how he's approached the cloth, and you've got the sort of the folds with the light like that looks so nice. The weathering on the armour is really on point, and it's got the edges as well where it's sort of rubbed and got a bit cleaner, a bit brighter, a bit shinier, but you've also got that wonderful rust, and I really like the use of the base with the bats and that sort of the atmosphere it brings. Wow, this one is just a real favourite of mine, and mostly because I'm a sucker for dynamic lighting. The way that the fire of the brazier has lit him up from one side works so nicely, and you can see the colours of it all sort of reflect on the base on both the models, and if you look closely you can see it on both the models in certain levels, and it works so nicely, glinting off the blade. And then as you turn it, you almost won't even know it's there. There's that wonderful contrast, and it just works so well. The colours are great, the base is great. It's just a really nice example of using something on the base to create a stronger atmosphere to really elevate the piece. This one by Wave Colours really caught my eye as well, because you've got that wonderfully painterly style which we haven't seen before yet in any of the other entries. The brush marks, you can see the brush marks much more clearly, it's not so blended, and it gives a sort of a much more sort of painterly and more atmospheric style which works so well. I also like the way he's done that gorgeous blue on the shield, and how the blue of the shield is reflected on the boss of the shield too. It looks just so nice. Standard gold. So these are the gold winners in the standard category. Andre's work always makes me smile, and whenever he enters any of our competitions, there are always these wonderfully elaborate dioramas with so much going on. Each time you look at them, there's just something new and exciting to explore, and I really love doing it. On this one, there's a couple of things that I just want to point out as my favourites. There's that wonderful non-metallic metal on the shine on the weapons and on the skelly boys themselves. There's that wonderful sort of sense of movement, and the base itself is just fantastic. We've got that sort of cheeky little things. You've got that pointing skeleton, which is good fun. It's just so well built and just a real delight to explore. Thank you, Andre, for entering again with something that just that makes me smile. But of course, it's not all just fun. It's a really well painted piece with a lot of technical skill involved, and it's well deserving of a gold in standard. Andre, you need to get out there and start winning some trophies and demons. Next up is this one from Andrew. The colour palette on this one really caught my eye, and the use of that wonderfully warm bronze with the blue verdigris and that sort of greeny coloured of the cloth works so well. They're all very distinct and all very cleanly done. The wood grain on the mace is great too, and the use of the rust as well works so well. It's a really clean piece and really beautifully done. This is the first of 2 entries by Zara, and they are really fabulous. So first we have the Beauregard, and he is set in this wonderful scene, and you can really get the atmosphere from this one. It's a really great pose. In terms of the lighting, works so well. It's understated, but there with the sort of that warmth from the brassiere, and then you can see that it goes into the darkness at the very back there. I love the use of the purple, and I love his sinister blade that just looks really sharp, but also contrasted with the rust on there too. And the glyph glows subtly. It's not over the top, but it's there, and it works really well. From the side and the back, you can see the difference in the contrast and the colour and the effect of the light on the piece too really well. And you can sort of see better as well the use of rust on the armour, and the way the shine points are really great on it too. For his second entry, Zara also managed to sweep a well-deserved gold. This one uses dramatic lighting to excellent effect. You've got that wonderful glow from the crypt really creeping up the model in a really clean, really bright, really atmospheric and really sort of interesting way. The model itself is also really wonderfully well painted. It's really sort of neat and clean and beautifully done. And I really like the way that the model itself is just so heavily illuminated. It's a real focal point of the piece, but also the light you can see dispersing across the whole base to really give it a sense of place. And another White Lord on Skeletal Steed. This one is by Nappa. This one is a really great one in terms of the use of the base and the use of that sort of lovely sort of textured rough bronze armour on him. It hasn't got that rust, it hasn't got that extra weathering that some of them have. He obviously takes a bit more pride in what he does, and it looks great too, but we do have those rusty weapons as well. His sword has got that wonderful non-metallic look, and it's got that vicious sharpness on the edge, and the fur around his shoulders just looks absolutely great with a sort of a little bit of grunginess to it too. As he turns around, there's also a little bit of surprise. You've got this wonderful bright atmospheric lighting on the back, this sort of great purple, and I think it just adds something else to it, a little bit more mood, a bit more atmosphere to the piece. From the front, he's just normal. From the back, you think he's spooky. I really like how on the base you've got all this moss that really is integrated really well as well. It's not just pasted on and stuck on. He's really thought about how it would grow out from the stone of the crypt, and it just works so well. It's so cohesive and it just gives a really good sense of place. So this one by Robbie, I know I liked it so much because I put it on the banners and I put it on some of the graphics because I just think he's great. I love how his face is painted with that cheeky sort of sinister grin. There's so much detail on here just to make him a little bit more of a personality, and it really comes through. I like the blue tones on the iron of the armour, that works so nicely, and you can see like the reflections as well. The rust works so well, it's very, very cleanly done, and it's just a really nice, clean example of this model painted in such a really nice way. And it's just consistently really, really good. Well done, Robbie. We didn't get many painted backdrops in this competition this time, and this one really, really stood out though. This fantastic one by Sashko has the use of lots of dynamic lighting. You've got this wonderful painted backdrop which lights it in a sort of with the blues and the lighter colours from the moon, and then you've got the bottom where you've got this wonderful red colour coming up which also bounces off everything else. The lighting on this piece is just wonderful, and you can just, the way that he's really thought about the reflections on everything, on the metal, and how the gold of him really, really stands out so well. It just works. On the white background, you can see a bit better as well. You can see where he's highlighted the blue from the background onto the stone and how the red reflects a lot better. And of course, there's that strong red lighting from below bouncing off that superb metal on the sword. Right then, Masters Bronze. So this is the first of the Masters category, and these are our bronze winners. To reiterate, Masters are those who have won a major competition, so they've won gold, they've won golden demons, these are guys that know how it is to win, basically. First up in Masters is this wonderful piece by Florian. This piece shows such great technical skill across all the non-metallic metals, including the verdigris on the banner, that lovely freehand with the cloth, that lovely rust on him himself, and there's a lovely little homage as well to Richard with the stacked stones on the base. It's just altogether just a really, really nice piece. This one by Mark really caught my eye, and I'd like to speak about a couple of things about it that did, basically. In short, it's a really fun example of storytelling and a really good example of really tying your model in with it around it. For me, looking at him, you've got that wonderful reflections. You've got the reflections of the green on the tip of that rusty but still very sharp looking non-metallic metal sword. You've got the weathering on the bottom of the cloth. You've got the rust. You've got his lovely gold glowing eyes that look proper glowy. And for me as well, the thing that really, really stood out is the lichen on his armour. You can really imagine that he's sort of been dormant under this tree stump in the forest, and he's just come out covered in this sort of moss and lichen. It just works really, really well. This one by Liam is one of the few that's a bit special. Originally this one was entered into the standard category, and the judges were just so impressed that they bumped him up into Masters. So instead of standard gold, he has got a Masters bronze. It's a really great achievement. Well done, Liam. Also, the non-metallic metal on this one is great. You can see why they bumped it up. All the textures, all the elements of this piece are really fun. The zombie arm coming out, the contrast of the skin on that and the way that's painted, contrasting with the skeleton, works so, so well. Another that has been promoted is this wonderful one by Peel. Now, when I first saw this, I was just gobsmacked. So this has been entered into standard, and it's achieved a bronze in Masters. But the first thing I noticed, and I think you'll notice it too, is that amazing freehand on the banner. I just finished reading Drachenfels, and it just transported me immediately back to that world. In addition, all the different use of colours are really fantastic on the armour itself and the use of the verdigris, and it's just a bright piece without being showy and about being sort of garish. It's a really wonderful piece to look at, and every time I look at it I notice something different too. And the last one in Masters for bronze is this one by Zolf. And this is also one that was entered as a standard, but the judges were just so impressed that they bumped him up into Masters. This one has a wonderful sense of atmosphere, and the difference of the armour is really great too, and really quite startling. It's really wonderful to see how many different ways this non-metallic metal has been painted. This one's got that wonderful sort of warm feeling, but also like grubby and worn away. And the way that he's painted the cloth on this one is also really sort of more striking. I love the way the blue looks on that, and the base is also really, really cool. Next up is the silver award winners in the Masters category. So first up we have this one from Lee from Frostbite Miniatures. This one shows a really great level of clean, beautiful non-metallic metal, loads and loads of technical skill across the whole model. Each piece of it I think is so well painted. I just love the shining gold on it, contrasting with that the weathered metal of his armour. Everything's picked out so cleanly. His leather is really nice. The back of the shield, which has been neglected by some of the entrants, also beautifully painted, and you can really see a lot of love has gone into this one, a lot of care, and it's just so cleanly done. Another that was entered into standard but bumped up by the judges is this one by Marius. This one really stood out to me purely because of the technical skill and how clean it is in terms of like the tiny details and the tiny edges, and the highlighting is so clean and precise. In addition, the way he's done the horse armour really struck me. I really like how weathered the patina looks on it. It's just it really reads so much like weathered metal in such a great way. It's not over the top, it's not showy, it's just good. Well done. Another that was bumped up from standard is this wonderful one by Przemyk. This one really impressed the judges, and you can see why. It's got wonderful, it's just altogether really, really good, and it works so well with the base too. It's a really cohesive and gorgeous piece to look at. The finish line is in sight. This is the Masters Gold. First up is this wonderful one by the lovely Miriam. This one really caught my eye when it was submitted, and I'm sure you can see why too. It's such a wonderful example of a really cohesive piece with really great storytelling, a really wonderful base. All three of the models are painted absolutely beautifully. I love the red colour scheme as well. The rust on the weapons is really so on point, and on that armour, and it's just a really great example of a little story told there in the piece. Now when this one came in, I laughed and laughed. It really encapsulates the humour of the Discord, the community we've built, and the fun we try to have with our competitions. But apart from that, of course, it's a really well painted piece with a lot going for it. The use of dynamic lighting from the bottom, that red that bounces off all the metals, is just absolutely on point and fantastic. The base itself with that guy climbing out of the floor, and all the rust and all the weathering and all the sort of the dirt and the grime on him is fantastic. The griminess of the model himself, the main piece, is so on point, with the banner itself flapping away in the wind with that free hand. It's just a really great example of a really sort of grimy, a piece with loads and loads going on, but each texture on it sort of really working so well. And also I really like the glowing eyes too. And last of the golds is this wonderful one by Drew Paints. This one is on a hand-painted background, as you can see, on canvas, and the whole model and what he's built around it is just fantastic. It's a whole piece sort of built in this wonderful way on the canvas itself, with lots of wonderful light and lots of textures to explore. So, and the best of show, well, it's this one by Drew. We just were so stunned by it. I know that I was absolutely gobsmacked when I saw it. Just the use of the lighting from the background, bouncing off the armour, that orangey glow, the secondary lighting from the front on the stones, all the textures and detail, the background itself with that ominous scene and that sense of story. It's such a well-deserved best in show. Well done, Drew. And that brings us to the end of the BONEZONE 2025 Winners Showcase. A massive thank you to everyone who entered. Whether you placed or not, the level of creativity and ambition this year really was absolutely incredible. The atmosphere of the pieces, the conversions, the storytelling, it just gets better every time we do it. Thank you. Thank you as well to Artis Opus for supporting the competition, and to everyone on the Discord who shared work in progresses, supported the other painters, and just kept things really fun and friendly. If you're new and you want to join in for next time, or take part in any of our other community challenges, you can find everything on the website, which is Grey Creations, including our next event, Squigmas, which is much more relaxed and very festive. You're very welcome to jump in. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the amazing entries, and I hope it inspires you for your next project, maybe even next year's BONEZONE. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.